Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Inspired Show with Joe and Jorge or George.
Or George. Which one are we today, George?
Let's feel it out. I'm feeling George today. I'm feeling proper. So we're gonna have a really fun and kind of improv show today.
Yeah, there's no plan.
Yeah, no, there's no but there is a little bit of a plan. I was thinking, remember the idea I told you? We should have the episode should be about why you canceled the last episode.
Yes, the cancellation of the last episode.
Which was supposed to be last week.
Which was supposed to be last week. I just wasn't feeling inspired.
You just weren't inspired.
Yeah, I was having a little bit of a breakdown. As you know, we have a lot of projects going on right now. And I came off of vacation. I went to Cabo. And I had a great time.
Yep, it was as everyone should in Mexico.
It was a 5-day, 4-night, all expense paid trip. Thank you, Stacy, for doing great in
that's his wife.
Your job and
for you
getting us a free
to
trip.
Know he's taken.
But when I came back, it was almost like everything I had left behind piled on me, and I just kind of went into this big time like freak out mode. And
getting back from vacation is the worst.
It is.
I mean, because everything comes crashing down. So I hear you.
Yeah. But we had scheduled to record this show right after the vacation. And I came back and I started getting all of these messages from our team saying, hey, it's not done. You know, this project's behind, all this stuff like that. And it was just like, boom, 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 boom.
And you just,
and then I literally was like, there's no way I could be on this show right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a moment of like, do I go on and just fake it till I make it? Or do I just be human and say, you know, I gotta, unpack this.
Did you notice how well I took it when you canceled 1 hour before?
You took it very well, but I didn't take it so well.
That's from, all the personal development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even lashed out, I think, at you and Kyler. I was like...
Kyler's our amazing producer behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He's got a great set of hair.
He has an amazing...
That you will at some point see.
Locks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah,
like, you don't have that hair, but you have the testosterone that apparently... According to clinical studies, when men lose hair, their testosterone level goes up, which is why I think every time we go on these retreats, women just like swarm you. Joe doesn't act on anything, Stacy. I'm there to witness. He is like a saint.
I am.
Yeah. So
yes.
Anyway,
I have an image to uphold. Yeah. I mean,
got off topic there for a moment.
We do try to inspire people.
I do think though, like, I mean, you cancel an hour before, and normally I think like that's a conversation that would be triggering. Obviously, listen, it's like we don't want to be divas to our producer or to each other, right? Because we never really do that. But I do gotta say, like, the level of like understanding that we have for each other. Oh, if you hear any barking, that's my dog. I've been a bad father, so I brought him to work today. You'll meet him in a little bit.
We have a new mascot.
You'll see him in a little bit. But I do think it's like, man, that constantly surrender, and especially, bringing it to real estate investing. Like, I mean, we were talking about this. Like, real estate investing is the clearest path to self-realization.
Right.
Because you're constantly like managing breakdowns, you know? And part of the breakdown, one of the reasons why you weren't inspired was because you got to one of your properties and the contractor, who's been amazing up until now, didn't do anything, right?
Well, they did things, but it wasn't to the speed that they said they were going to do it, right? And so that's the thing. And then, of course, when you send a text message and you have certain language on that text message, it could trigger other people. And so it just kind of unraveled from there.
Yeah.
But it's not about how the day starts. It's how the day ends.
Yeah.
Right? I could have stayed in that moment all day long and just started flipping out on everybody and started, tarnishing relationships and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, what I did was, and I even called and apologized to you and called and apologized.
I don't remember getting that.
We had a conversation about that.
I mean, it's
But,
water under the bridge, but
we embrace the past with love.
Yeah. No, I took that as an opportunity, and then you started writing me like, I just don't understand why people don't do what they said they're gonna do, and and that's the opportunity, right? Because like that is the common theme in real estate investing constantly. It's just like deadlines are not being met, budgets are going over, and we have to kind of always keep the bigger vision. Like, how am I not going to explode on people? How am I, yes, this is a bump on the road, but at the same time, like, this is all part of a property that's going to either flip me for a ton of money. And so what if this guy's costing me more when I'm going to make it up at the end? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's a timing factor, right?
Yeah.
We go into each project with a budgeted hold time.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to creep on exceeding that hold time. And then your mind instantly goes into, what if I run out of money?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Yeah. Am I not going to be able to make these payments? Am I not going to be able to, sell it in time to not run out of money? So that's kind of the natural human response to things.
Yeah.
But because of the work that we're doing with our mindset and making sure that we're staying on top of those things, we are able to overcome those anxious moments and truly show to others the work that we're putting in.
I think such a win is when you monitor your own, you gauge your level of reactivity. Like, for example, when you said 1 hour before, I'm not inspired, like I could feel that there was just surrender, you know, and it is, it is a moment where I got to pat myself in the back, because I'm like, man, I've come such a long way where I'm not like going ballistic and making it about you disrespecting my time or how is this going to look like next week when I don't know what my schedule looks like. But like just having that ability of surrendering right away. And I give that credit to all the meditation that we do. And it sounds like the meditation is the key.
It is.
It sounds so like woo-woo and kind of like, what is it, like a little too spiritual, but it really just it calms the system down to a way where you're not reactive anymore, and you feel like you can handle any storm.
Yeah, I call it hoity-toity.
Yeah, that,
because my wife Stacy, she loves the astrology, and she
does.
Yeah, she's into all of that, and she used to go to like mediums and to feel closer to her dad and things like that. And I always used to call it because hocus pocus, but then it kind of morphed into hoity toity, which I know is a completely different saying, but sounds cuter.
That sounds cuter. That's cool. I didn't know about. My sister's obsessed with astrology. I'm not that into astrology, but I'm into a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm glad you came off the uninspired moment.
I did.
And
it's the very same day, no less.
Yeah. And it's good that you were able to take care of yourself. Now, it's,
let me ask you, what are the steps? What are the steps that we perform to get out of those moments?
Well, I feel like I yell at you for, like I remember when you said, I just don't understand how people are not their word, right? Like the contractor didn't perform what he was supposed to. And then I said, I think I kind of said something to you, like, I just don't know why you don't get that this is happening for you to heal whatever trauma you have, that people don't do what I asked them to do. See, that's the beauty about life, right? Because everything that triggers us, it's actually an opportunity to heal a belief that we have that we have that doesn't work. Like, if someone doesn't do what you want them to do, that stems back to maybe like you believing that people don't have your back or something. There's something
or
at
they're
the
out
root,
to get me,
or they're out to get you. And, you can go into the whole psychology of it, and that's like a whole rabbit hole. But I think for now, and I can't stress enough how much just meditation just kind of it like it's a biohack,
right,
to just getting to that calm place. And you're actually just instead of reacting, you're seeing all the choices that you could do. And one of them is like, you know what? For me, when you said I'm canceling, I thought, I know exactly what it feels like to come back from vacation. Like literally, it's like, for me, it's depression.
So you were empathetic.
I was so empathetic. I'm like, dude, you know what? Not just, and it is an hour drive for me. So I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
it wasn't a terrible thing.
Yeah, for me, it was like, you know what? I know what that feels like, and I'm not gonna, on top of him feeling like crap, I'm not gonna place like guilt on. Yeah. That's my step, just to take a moment.
Right, and so my step to get out of that anxious moment is to first reach out to people that I trust and I know that are on the same level as me as far as my mental fitness and spiritual fitness. So I did reach out to you and we talked about it, and you kind of slapped me around a little bit, but that was needed. And then I also talked to my mom. I talked to a couple of other people that I trust, and it's so talk it out, right, before you blow out.
Yeah.
Right, because if you just immediately respond to that person, you're just going to keep going in, and it's just going to keep making you more and more angry, and you're just going to keep going, right? And then so you just take a step back and reach out to some.
I think I sent you meditations, right?
You did.
I was like, you need a 10
you
minute.
You need this 10-minute meditation. Yeah. And I actually went and I shut everything down and went and did that guided meditation for 10 minutes. So that was helpful.
Yeah, good. I think, I look forward to the day, and listen, and I'm not even putting that pressure on myself, but maybe I will get to that one day where my reactivity is so short, right? Or it takes so much to get me there, and I pull myself back really fast. But in the meantime, it's all about being generous,
right?
And it's understanding that, hey, I know how you're feeling, and then also it's like, how do I know that? The minute that something gets canceled, immediately I'm like, all right, then something else just arose, instead of fixating that, no, we were supposed to do the show that day, and how dare him, that was my time. It's like, wow, why don't we let the unknown dictate what we're supposed to do in this afternoon now that plan got canceled? And I don't know, but I've been so enjoying that. I was supposed to be in Miami this week, and the meeting got canceled. And because it got canceled, my friend had told me that Joe Dispenza was doing a live podcast on Friday, this Friday, which you're going, I'm going. Yeah. And I literally immediately, I bought my ticket. I told a ton of people that are going now. So that all came from the cancellation of something that now it's like, when things get canceled, I get like, it's almost like I get giddy because I know, great, something else is going to come up.
Another opportunity is going to rise.
Yeah. The unknown.
Great. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So the other thing is to, lean in on what you can do for meditation or prayer or whatever that looks like for you, right? Yeah. We discussed that you sent me a guided meditation, and so the only thing I could think to do at that particular time was to go and sit in my room and just have 10 minutes to where I pushed all of that anxiety out of my brain. 10 minutes,
literally that's all that it takes.
Yeah, that's it.
And it worked.
It worked. And then from there, it's now how do I find solutions? Yeah. Right? Because then you're able to think about it. You're able to adjust your mindset and then go and help that out.
This bleeds to, this weekend we just came back from the Flipping Summit that Tarek Al-Musa hosted, and we're part of that mastermind, and it was amazing. And God, we could do like 10 episodes on that whole thing because so many things happened.
So many breakthroughs.
But in the context of what we're saying, like I woke up on Sunday and I do Pad Split, which is this company that rents my house by the room. Mm-hmm. And I have a house in Florida and Tampa that I do it. And I get all the texts from all the tenants when anything goes down. So I start getting a slew of texts saying there's no water. And then I'm like, okay. So I have a property manager who's great. So I'm like, okay, there's no water in the house. I'm like, I know I paid the water. So around 10 a.m., I called the property manager. He's like, hey, did you pay the water? And I was like, yeah, I know I paid it, but even if I didn't, they wouldn't cancel the water on a Friday at 5 a.m. Oh, no, sorry, Saturday at
They
Sunday
give
morning.
You notice, all
right,
that
or not
stuff.
give me notice. They usually send you like a slew of letters like warning you.
Yeah.
So he was like, no, I'm going to go to the house and check it out. So from the time he said that, man, there was something inside me that I so wanted to like tell the next person I saw, can you believe what, like now the water, like there's no water in the house, or, again, my body's so addicted to the stress hormones, wanting to reach out and even tell you. I didn't even tell you. I didn't tell anybody. I'm just like, you know what? I have a property manager. That's his job. So then like 2 hours later, dude, he sends me a video of this huge pipe that broke on the crawl space. The thing is like a river, and my whole crawl space is inundated. And he goes, hey, I'm working on this right now, but we found the problem. And I'm like, so now the only person that I chose to tell anybody was Lady Carter, who's one of the people that we met at the seminar, she's an amazing investor broker out of New York. And she was taking me to the airport. And I asked her in the context of like, hey, do you think like if this happens, would the insurance company cover it? And I showed her the video. She was like, oh my God. And she goes, yeah, I think so. And I was like, you know what? If it's gonna cover it, it's again out of my control. I have a property manager. That's all I know. I landed back in LA, and he writes me, I bought the pipe at Home Depot. I sorted it out. Water's back on. With me, you have nothing to worry about. And it was done.
Nice.
And it was done. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's part of like that habit that we all have to talk about our problems, when in reality, what would have done other than like stress me out?
Yes.
Then if I tell you, that would have reminded you of another situation that maybe was similar that stressed you out in the past. So now you're like,
or I could give you an insurance professional opinion.
Yeah. No, for sure. And mind you, I would have gone to that point had I not gotten that call from my property manager right after saying it's done. Yeah. If it would have if it would have escalated to that point, you would have been my first resource. Yeah. But it was one of those things where you're like, man, life could just be so much simpler if we just shut up.
Take a breath, right? Take a step back.
Yeah. By the way, I've been saying that when I write my spiritual book, it's gonna be called "Shut the Fuck Up." That's it. Because it's going to be all about how if we retrain ourselves not to talk about our problems. And by the way, that doesn't mean handling them. Right. Handle your problem.
You got to handle it.
You handle it. I'm talking about when you tell your best friend, when you tell your mom, when you tell your girlfriend, when you tell your boyfriend. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. I called my property manager. That's the only person I needed to call. But in our culture, it's so celebrated to create camaraderie by talking about our problems and letting everybody know and having everybody's opinions. And like,
but that's also why it's key to know who you can go to talk about those problems, so that that way it doesn't become a
so that they don't fuel
downward spiral. Right? They don't fuel your flame.
Yeah, absolutely. So like you would be great, but I didn't even want to take it to you, because why am I going to give you like bad news for when I'm handling it already, right? If I didn't have a property manager and I needed one, then whatever. So it just goes to show how we do have that control of our narrative, right? And the more that we can systematically and purposefully direct our narrative in the way that we want life to go, man, in my experience, obviously I could only speak in my experience, it's
life-altering.
It's life-altering.
Yeah.
It really is like, there's no problems anymore. It's just solutions. You know what happened to me yesterday? I go to the gym. I think I told you about I went to the gym. I worked out, went to take a shower, went to like the sauna, come back, and my sneaker's missing.
Oh,
Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
So I have no shoe, and I'm like, man, did somebody do it to mess with me, or one of the cleaners just threw it away to like, oh, I'll show him, because I left it outside. Yeah. Today I went back, and shoe gate still on. No one can find my shoe. Everyone's just laughing when I tell them the story.
I'd be laughing too.
But again, it's like one of those things where like there is like a 3% that I'm like, like, no, I'm gonna buy a new sneaker. But But again, it's just kind of like, who cares?
But I love how the first initial response is someone's out to get me.
Oh, right? Yeah. Someone's had to get me. Like either the cleaning person was like, this guy, look how rude he is. He just leaves his sneakers there. So I'm going to show him, unless there's no cameras in the locker room. So I'll never know the ending.
And what is this cleaning guy that has
There's also a guy there that
bad animosity towards you.
There's also a guy there that knew my ex. And like every time I see him, I just feel that, again, we don't say hi, but, and like I had seen him right before.
There's a little sexual tension.
So I was like, maybe he grabbed this. But again, it's like the conspiracy theories, right?
Right.
And then, so this is the reason why I was telling the story. Then today, as you know, the front girls are like laughing at me and making fun of me over the shoe. I said, you know what? Maybe it was time to get a new sneaker, which I know it was. And eventually this shoe was going to mess up my lower back because it's been a little tricky. And the universe is actually saying it's time to get a new shoe. And it's hooking me up.
Yeah. And I bet you they were all like, oh, I can't make fun of that anymore.
No, they stayed quiet, and then I said, but if you see that motherfucker, you let me know. And then they were like, again, like, oh,
I want to talk to him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah, I mean, I think we all go through those encounters in life, and, you know, it's upon us to make the adjustment.
Yeah.
Once we start pointing the finger and placing blame is the moment we go down the rabbit hole. And it impacts our day, the rest of the day. And so, funny story, you know, as you know, I'm the team leader of our real estate team, and I have one-on-ones on a weekly basis with all of our team members. And, you know, one of our team members, was like, oh, I wrote 3 offers a week for the last 3 weeks, and nothing ever happened, and all of these agents are being rude to me. And I'm like, okay, so what's that, you know, how's that impacting you? Because, you know, I'll tell you right now, those agents don't have any thought on your offer, the offer that's coming in, or how that's impacting you, right? But you're the one who's over here and telling yourself, I'm going to quit. I'm going to stop because that agent was rude to me and didn't, you know, respond with a receipt of offer, or respond when you followed up with them to talk to them about the offer that you made, right? It's not impacting their day. It's not impacting their lifestyle, but it's impacting you, right?
Right. And all that stuff, like, you know, it's, again, it's so subconscious how reactive we are. And unless you go to the hardware, and you get to the subconscious and through the meditation practice, and you start tackling this stuff. Like, again, you know, we do this work with Dr. Joe Dispenza, where like we know that you tackle this either in the morning when your brain is in theta, which is basically a state of your brain where like you're absorbing everything. So that's why you want to do the rewiring in the morning or at night, right before you go to bed. The REM state, like right before you go to sleep, like your brain is absorbing information. So you don't want to watch the news or anything that's stressful right before bed, because you take that into your subconscious. So
you're telling me that Dateline before bed is not a good idea?
Probably not.
Stace, pay close attention.
No, not really. But again, our mascot star has something to say. So all these things are so applicable, but we just encourage people to really look into the meditation work, because, and it doesn't have to be Dr. Joe. There's so many different. There's what's the one Katy Perry does, the AMT meditate? What is it?
I never knew anything about that.
There's just so many.
Yeah,
it's just, but on a conscious level, you can tell yourself like, oh my God, why did I react that way? Why did I do that? But on the subconscious level is where we need to first rewire it. And then it's so much easier not to get reactive and really see the whole picture when we're in those situations.
So key things, right? There's power in thought, and you can use your thought to change the pattern that you're going down, right? So we constantly say, especially in our meditation period, that if you're starting to get distracted during your meditation, stop. Use the word stop. Use the word change, right? Because then your natural response is, okay, I'm going to stop this for a second. I'm going to stay in this moment right now, right? So whether it be praying, whether it be meditation, if you find yourself wandering and not being focused on what you're meditating or praying on, just tell your body and tell your mind to stop. and then you can readjust. It's like changing the channel, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Well, we covered why we canceled last week for sure.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for watching. Joe has been practicing the goodbye jingle. So, do you care?
Yeah.
For
so
it?
that's it for today. And if you want more inspired content, follow us on all the social media platforms, and you can also find us on our YouTube channel. The Inspired Show.
We'll soon be on Apple
and
Spotify. Sorry, but we're not there yet. I don't think
we're gonna be there.
Yeah, we are gonna be there.
Yeah, so we're gonna relaunch all of the first 4 episodes on Apple and Spotify.
Yeah,
and then we'll continue to download those upcoming episodes there as well. So follow us for more. Like and subscribe. Have a wonderful, inspired day, everyone.
Thank you.